Houston, our instruments are showing that we have a incoming message from deep space. Repeat, Houston, we have an incoming message from deep space. Houston, we'll begin playing message now. Houston, we're going to try and translate that up here. Hold for translation. Translation complete. We'll begin playing message now.
Hey, it's me, Melissa.
What do you do when the aliens invade? Take a shot of MK Ultra and watch Melissa Jade. Put on your tinfoil hat and tune right in. We got that crime spree, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, a complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects, a mind expanding, fake moon landing, what it all been understanding. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Aliens is on the sun, or in Area 51. Time travels, unravels, haunted castles, cops are baffled, potential experimental thoughts that make you transcendental. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa. Crime sprees, flat earth theories, government conspiracies, complex Mandela effects, unidentified objects of mind expanding, fake moon landing, what it all been understanding. It's me, Melissa. It's me, Melissa.
Hi, guys. You know I am tired because I read your name as Sandy Hole. And I thought it was a troll account at first. And then I reread it and it said Sandy Hale, and I'm so sorry. But I had to share that. Hi, Beach Lover. Hi, Harlot. People meet Dynamite, Edith, Beach Lover. It's not rocket science, dude. I'm so sorry. I was like, ew. And then I was like, oh, never mind. I felt horrible. Nana Banana, Daniel, Wicked Rose, Chloe Moon, Rickets and Shiggles, Cutie Pie, Beach Lover, I Go Meow. Oh, have a good night's sleep. I cannot wait. See, where'd the day go? It's been a long day. I literally just walked in the door. I was this close, and I don't have my camera on, so you can't see how close. I was this close to really just pushing the live. Like I'm gonna do my best, guys. I do not think I'm gonna be able to stay on for like more than an hour, but I wasn't gonna cancel on you guys. But I literally just walked in the door. I am exhausted, and we're gonna push forward. So we're just gonna hop right into it. I do not know who the next witness is up. Hi, Natasha. I don't know who the next witness is. So we're just going to, like, it's paused where we left off last night. Thank you, Alvin. I know you guys are so supportive. I really do appreciate it. But when I just want you to know, hey, like, I'm at a low energy level. I'm exhausted. So if I'm not as, I apologize. Hello, Shakto. Hi, Lena, Neat Noodle, Jules, Lisa. So I paused it right where we last left off. I know Lace Lamont. I truly enjoy coming on. And I know that once I do, I very rarely regret it. I pick up, like you guys give me like the momentum. It's just sometimes it's like I just want to crash, So I'm like, all right, I could get on for an hour. I'll feel bad if it's like in between questioning on the stand, but I'm going to do my best. Hi, Rhonda. Yes, it's exhausting. Hey, Bendy, how you feeling? So I paused. Literally, yesterday was rough. It was rough. We had listened to the Bridge Inspector up on that stand, and it sucks because it really truly reminds you that Letecia has so many victims, direct and indirect victims. and what that man had to witness on a normal day of work. It's really sad. And so we heard his testimony, and now we're moving on to what will be our third witness. I don't remember who it is. I'll have to pull up my trial notebook, but I didn't even get a chance. I literally just walked in. So we're going to find out together. Again, I've been playing the trial from Recovery Addict's channel. His link is in the description, and I will drop the link throughout it. Hi, Megan. Hi, Carolina. I'm glad you're feeling a bit better, Bendy. Yes, Jules, 100%, 100%. I am hoping to do Patreon for anybody who's a Patreon member, either tomorrow or Saturday during the day. I'll let you guys know over on Patreon, but not tonight. Tomorrow. I'll let you know tomorrow. Hi, Jordan. So I'm going to press play. We're picking up where we last left off. Pridge Inspector is being released from the witness stand, and we're moving on to our third witness. Thank you so much, Curious Christine. That's so generous. Thank you so much for the super sticker. It must be, yeah. All right, so we could all be low energy. That's okay. I'm so sorry for your mom's passing, Lucia. That's got to be extremely hard, and I'm so sorry for your loss. Hey, Mima. Okay, all right, so we're just going to jump right into it tonight, guys. Let's see where prosecution's going to lead.
I think at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take an afternoon break.
All right, never mind. We're going. Even the trial needs a break. Interesting timing. Touche, Julie. Touche. Anybody that wasn't here, we had a chatter who was like, that judge seems really laid back, you know, and his facial expressions are funny. And they thought, let me take those questions off. They thought Recovery Addict in this bottom, because it was a point in time where Judge Werner wasn't on this screen. Hi, Gen X girl. And they thought Recovery Addict was the judge. Meanwhile, Recovery Addict's like eating pizza. It must be the most laid back judge, man. It must be the most laid back judge. You are perfect timing, Michelle. We're about to start. So they're about to take their afternoon break, which was about an hour, I remember. So I'm just going to skip forward. Okay.
For sure. Okay. They just water log. Word. Something there.
Okay, hold on. Oh, it always does this. Okay, hold on. All right, here we go, guys.
Debbie, I'm not sure if his biological mom is in the courtroom or not.
Hi, love. Look at her square ass.
Just keep an eye
Hey,
on
Crime
her.
Crochet and Lovey Look Quinn.
Thank you. May all be seated. Court will recall 20 CR 1358. People versus Letecia Stauch record should reflect the jury has returned to the courtroom. Prosecution, call your next witness, please.
Thanks, Judge. We would call Jason Yoder to the stand.
Yoder. Anyone remember who it is?
Mr. Yoder, if you would step forward and raise your right hand, please, sir.
You notice he came in from outside the
That's
building?
exactly
outside
what
the room.
she is.
Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give in this man will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step as you step into the stand.
Yoder. I don't
If you
remember.
trip and die getting into the witness stand, I think you can sue.
In prosecution, it looks like there are still some exhibits on the witness stand. I didn't know if you were planning on using
They're
them.
the ones for him, Your Honor.
Okay, all right.
Thanks, Judge.
Yoder.
Good afternoon, Mr. Yoder. How are you doing?
All right, sir.
Could you please state your name and spell your last for the record?
Jason Yoder, Yoder.
Oh,
And
no.
what is your occupation?
I'm a criminal investigator
For what
with the
agency?
Escambia County Sheriff's Office currently.
And where is Escambia County?
It's borders Florida and Alabama line.
Florida?
It's in Alabama, but it borders the Florida line.
So parts of Florida in it, parts of Alabama?
Yes, it's just kind of split.
All right. That's interesting. Florida and Alabama must get along quite well to share a county like that.
Well, sometimes.
What was your occupation back in March of 2020?
I was a major crimes detective with the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
And is that the county right across the river from Escambia County?
From Escambia, Florida, yes, sir.
Okay. And so does the Escambia Bridge kind of connect those two counties?
Yes, sir, it does.
What was your role back on March 17th of 2020 when you were with the Santa Rosa Sheriff's Office?
I was a major crimes detective, part of our division.
And did you get called out during that day on March 17, 2020 to the Escambia Bridge?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what was the basis for your call out?
Bridge inspectors with the Florida Department of Transportation uncovered a body out of a suitcase underneath the bridge.
And what kind of details did you get before you, I'm assuming you eventually went out to that bridge?
Yes, sir.
What details did you get prior to going out to the bridge?
Not a lot. It's just the bridge workers had opened a suitcase and found what they believed to be a body inside the suitcase.
And were you assigned to be the lead detective in that investigation?
Yes, sir.
What did you do when you got out to the bridge?
Called our crime scene unit. Our crime scene unit began to process the scene. I observed them do their thing, coordinated with other detectives doing different interviews.
When you got out to the bridge, did you observe a body?
Yes, sir.
Please describe what you saw when you got out there.
When I arrived, there was a suitcase on the ground, opened, what appeared to be a human body, like it was rolled out of the suitcase, covered with bedding, and a pillow was inside as well.
And were members of your agency interviewing these bridge inspectors who had found the suitcase and the body?
Yes, sir.
And what kind of information did you have going into that?
Just that they were doing a routine check of the bridge. They discovered a suitcase in the wood line, drug it up under the bridge, opened it, and discovered the body inside the suitcase.
And did they point out the location where the suitcase was when they first saw it?
Yes, sir.
And did members of your sheriff department take photographs of those areas?
Yes, sir, they did.
And when you got there, could you see an impression in the marsh area where the suitcase may have been for a period of time?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And was it consistent?
So the suitcase left an impression in the marsh area. Wow. Because it had been sitting there for so long.
With the size and shape of the suitcase as you saw it.
Yes, sir.
And in relation to the bridge, where was this indentation where the suitcase was at, where the bridge inspectors had found it?
I don't really know exactly how far, but it was off in the wood line away from the bridge.
To your left, there's People's Exhibit 61, which is on the ESO there.
Happy birthday, Driving
got
Owl.
those photographs in front of you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Happy
Just right
birthday.
here.
Well,
It will
yeah. I'm sorry.
You see that red arrow right there?
Yes, sir.
Is that the general area where this indentation was in the marshy area where the bridge inspectors said the suitcase was found?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Kate.
And are those the eastbound or westbound lanes?
Look, we're covering your.
Right here is eastbound.
Okay. And so the river we see there, would that be west of that location?
Yes, sir.
And is the city of Pensacola on the other side of that river on the west side?
Yes, sir.
And are you familiar with that area?
I am.
Are you familiar with the Candlewood Suites Hotel that's in Pensacola?
I know about where it's at. I'm not sure exactly where it's at.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as People's Exhibit 221.
Now, you have to also remember, for these witnesses, it's been years. It has been years since the events took place to actual trial taking place.
Can I ask if you recognize that? Let's hold it.
Yes, sir.
Honey,
What is it?
It's a
happy birthday.
layover map, the river, Highway 90. I believe that's scenic highway that runs down with the hotel there, ordered out.
Is that the Candlewood Suites Hotel that I alluded to?
Yes, sir.
And does it also have a red dot as to where the suitcase was located?
Yes, sir.
And does it actually depict that area as it looked back in March of 2020?
Yes, sir.
Move to admit People's Exhibit 221.
221 will be admitted.
Place this up on the ESO and ask you a couple questions about it. Drop the other one first.
Do you guys want
just behind it? See that?
Do you guys want me to go through this witness or do you want me to jump to the next witness? Let me know. Doesn't matter to me, whatever you guys prefer. Wicked Rose, I don't truly remember. I remember first seeing her stuff the tissues in with Al, but I haven't seen her do that again. I'm going to keep an eye out. Oh, thank you so much, Trish. That's so kind. Best channel. Thanks for everything you do. You're far too kind. Thank you. That's very sweet. Jump? Okay. All right. So let me see. I think what he testified to is when he got called out to the bridge and the photos that they had took. I told you guys already, I'm not going to be showing any graphic photos. If you could go and watch this on your own. I know that aside from the medical examiner, there were the photos shown when he got there. So I'm not going to be showing any of that, but I believe it may be this witness because it's when he was called out and them recovering Gannon's remains and taking photos of where it was found. Then when the bridge inspector opened it up, how it was laid, everything like that. Yeah, because I could see okay. He wasn't on stand for that long. Okay.
Forward and raise your right hand, please, sir.
Sure.
Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step as you step into the stand.
Hello, ma'am. Sir, where are you currently employed?
I'm currently employed with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office.
And generally, what's the nature of your role with El Paso County Sheriff's Office?
Currently, I'm a major crimes detective.
Okay, we got it.
And how long have you been employed with the Sheriff's Office?
A little over 18 years now.
And in January into 2020, what was the nature of your role with the Sheriff's Office?
At that time, I had just joined the major crimes unit, probably about 3-4 months prior.
And as it relates to the nature of your work on the case that you're here before today, was part of your role assisting in the collection of various items of evidence?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Well, let's hear it.
And in the collection of those various items of evidence, are you responsible for logging them in or processing them in some way?
Yes, once they get collected, we either put it into temporary storage at the evidence facility, or we go ahead and process it in,
so kind.
depending upon what else is happening.
And do you recall processing particular items of evidence as it relates to items from Gannon Stauch?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what are the items? I'm going to go in order, Beach Lover. We'll get to them.
You're under permission to approach the witness with what has been marked as People's Exhibits 182 and 183.
Go ahead.
You too, Trio Girl.
Ashley,
Having you what's been
thoughts and
marked as
prayers with
People's
your
Exhibits
niece.
182 and 183. Can you take a moment to familiarize yourself with them?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you generally recognize what they are?
From the description, yes.
Okay. And based on the description and the processing of how you process evidence, can you explain to the jury how a description is associated with an envelope, for example?
There's a program that we have that we use for processing the evidence in. You type in the name of the item and then a brief description of what it may be. Then it automatically generates a number for us.
Okay. And in conjunction with those particular items, People's Exhibits 182 and 183, were you part of the processing or collection or logging into evidence of those particular items?
Yes, I was.
And if you would, there are some gloves next to you and scissors. And I'll ask you to open up to start People's Exhibit 182, leave the item in the envelope so that you have an opportunity to look at it and identify it.
Leave it in the envelope?
Yes,
Okay.
for now.
I don't know this witness's
And
name.
that was,
He's from
you
El
said
Paso.
182?
Yes, sir.
Investigator from El Paso.
Letecia, I still think she thought there was a chance. Why would she go through all this if she didn't think there was a chance?
And now in looking in the envelope that's been marked as People's Exhibit 182, are you generally able to recognize the item inside as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you recognize it?
It's a toothbrush that was inside a holder that was brought to us.
Okay. And based on the last time you recall seeing it, is it in the same or substantially same condition as when you last viewed it?
It appears to be the same, ma'am. I don't see anything that stands out.
Now you just pulled up the envelope. There's various colors of tape on the envelope. Does that indicate to you, or what does that indicate to you, I should say?
It tells the red tape is the tape that I put on it. This blue tape is tape that somebody else has opened the package for whatever reason and has resealed it.
Okay. At this time, Your Honor, the people have moved to admit People's Exhibit 182.
Defense? Exhibit 182 will be admitted. Go ahead.
Hey, Lisa.
Now, if you could take a moment to take out People's Exhibit 182 and show it to the jury.
Sorry, I meant verdict. I didn't realize. I don't know if it's in this state if the jury is going to decide the sentence. It varies from state to state.
Do I need to take the cap off?
No, that's all right.
Okay.
You can put it back in the envelope.
So remember Al brought that?
I'll find out.
In terms of People's Exhibit 183, I will ask you to do the same procedure. If you want to switch out your gloves, you can do that as well if you like.
Which mount?
Mhm.
So in Colorado, the judge is going to decide the sentence, the punishment.
I'm not sure.
So the
Peace,
jury will
love,
just do
and
the verdict.
vibes.
That's
Hey,
different from, say,
Nicole.
like the Daryl Brooks
Oh,
trial.
Nicole, I still never checked my email. I will do that.
Wait, was that a different one? Was that a good example? I might be speaking wrong there. Judge decides the sentence, jury decides the verdict.
I'm just gonna jump past like.
And while you're doing that, for People's Exhibit 183, does it appear to have the same type of colored tape as People's Exhibit 182 had?
The red tape, yes, but not the blue.
Okay. And is the red tape something that you placed there?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
All right. And if you would take a moment to open up People's Exhibit 183, look at it.
Nicole, I'm so sorry.
Example is the Aaron Dean trial. in Fort Worth,
Maybe
where
Beetle
the
Bug.
jury determined the sentence. He went with 11 years, 10 months, and 12 days in prison for police officer Aaron Dean, accused of shooting at Tatiana
Yes,
Jefferson.
ma'am.
And do you generally recognize that?
Yes.
And would you say it's in the same or substantially same condition as when you last handled it?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for admission of People's Exhibit 183.
Mr. Cook,
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit 183 will be admitted. Go ahead.
And if you would also take that item out and show it to the jury.
She does look like Popeye.
Armando, I watched it. I did not cover the DEP trial.
Now, in conjunction with your collection and logging of this particular item of evidence, were you assisting other law enforcement officers that day?
Yes, ma'am.
And as the information was relayed to you, who do those particular items belong to? People's Exhibit 182 and 183.
I was told that they belong to Letecia Stauch.
In conjunction with your work on the case, you were also present at a residence as well. Is that right?
At where?
At a residence, at Gannon's residence.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the address of that location?
Oh no, Roro.
I believe it was 6650 Mandan Drive,
Okay.
but I know it was Mandan Drive.
The 6627 sound about right?
We were at a lot of houses on that street.
Okay. While you were present on scene, you assisted other members of law enforcement, including the Metro Crime Lab, while on scene at that residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And while you're present on scene, were you also assisting in the collection of items of evidence there?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to approach with what has been marked as People's Exhibits 186 through 190.
Go ahead.
Colorado did away with the death penalty in 2020.
186 through
So it's been
190.
3 years without a death penalty.
Wish it wouldn't have.
So it's not that it's not on the table for this case. It's that they do not pursue the death penalty in Colorado anymore.
Recognize People's Exhibits 186 through 190. Take a moment to look through them.
Valerie, this is my understanding
Amber.
that they're doing an NGI, not guilty by way of insanity, or that they call it an NGRI in Colorado.
Yes,
Not
ma'am.
Guilty by reason of
Right. And
insanity.
do you generally recognize those exhibits?
Pardon me?
Do you generally recognize them?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you recognize them?
They were articles, items that were pointed out to us by Mr. Stauch that he found in the dishwasher. They're scrub brushes, scissors. The brushes appeared to have some type of carpet material or something on it.
Pausing it real quick. Something that very much bothers me is we still don't know all of the murder weapons, which is pretty mind-boggling, right? We still don't know. But objects she used to clean, that is why it triggered my thought process, not a banana. And we'll have to listen to the medical examiner again, explain the type of sharp force injuries he sustained, but we don't know. And that bothers me. Blunt force trauma and sharp force. He was stabbed so many times. No, Tucker News. Hell no, Letecia will never tell. Letecia will never even be honest with herself. But she will never give up the truth. And I believe that wholeheartedly. It's the only form of control she still has. And she loves being the only one who knows.
Man.
And are they fair and accurate representations of what you saw and observed that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for the admissions of People Exhibits 186 through 190.
Mr. Cook,
No objection, Your Honor.
exhibits 186 through 190 will be admitted.
And you're under permission to publish.
You may.
Destination. She does emerald skies.
These items are associated with
No,
the
Ange.
murder and the cleanup, but it should not be gory. So we're gonna show a
And
portion
if
that's
you
visible.
like, if you take a moment to look behind you, we have a pointer there if you want to use it. By maybe, perhaps.
No, it's in front of you. It's got the red handle on it.
Oh, thank you, sir.
That's their kitchen counter.
Having a rough time. There we go.
All right. Now you mentioned that Mr. Stauch had identified for you and other law enforcement officers that day various items of evidence. Can you point out here in People's Exhibit 186 some of those items?
We had a brush here. This brush. Have the handle of a brush here and this brush, and I cannot see the scissors in this picture.
We'll move on to People's Exhibit 187. And here, that might be a better look.
These are close-ups of the last photo.
The brushes that you were explaining?
Yes.
Okay. People's Exhibit 188. And here, what are we seeing here?
This is what appeared to possibly be a strand of carpet or something that was on the brush.
People's Exhibit 189. And here?
Again, strand of whatever type of material that is. And then we have 2 pairs of scissors there.
Scissors.
190.
Those are just close-ups of the other brushes.
I tell the truth.
Your Honor, permission to approach the witness with what has been marked with People's Exhibits 191, 92, 193, and 194.
So 191 through 194.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't know, Mrs. Bendover. Well, we saw the box cutter the day of the murder, right? The night of the murder. Yep, scissors. 2 pairs of scissors. She wanted them washed for some reason.
Take a moment to review People's Exhibits 191, 192, and 193 for now.
Okay, so they're talking about the items to use, the brushes to clean up the blood, the crime scene, possibly the weapons that were used. I don't know if the scissors were used or not, but they were found in the dishwasher. They were being cleaned, and they still had blood on them.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you generally recognize those?
From the type description, yes.
Okay. Now you'd mentioned before that part of the processing includes creating labels with descriptions on them.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll start with People's Exhibit 191. What does that appear to be to you based on your handling of that item?
Pardon me, ma'am?
Based on your handling of that item, what does that appear to be to you?
A Brillo scrub brush.
And People's Exhibit 192.
That is the blue handle, blue and white scrub brush.
And People's Exhibit 193.
The scrub brush with possible hair and carpet fiber.
And we spoke previously about tape and tape that is used on each of those exhibits. The tape used that you personally placed there?
I did not package these. The detective that collected the items actually did the packaging of them.
And when you were present at the residence that day, you viewed each of these items as we see in the previous photos that were shown to you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And based on descriptions of people's exhibits 191, 192, and 193, do those appear to be the similar type of items that were photographed that you went over with the jury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. People's exhibit 191, for example, is what particular item is that?
That is the Brillo scrub brush.
People's exhibit 192, based on the description there, what is that?
That is the blue and white scrub brush.
And people's exhibit 193, based on description, what is that?
The scrub brush with possible hair and carpet fiber.
And based on the nature of the packaging, were you present with other law enforcement officers when those items were packaged, for example?
I do not believe I was present when they packaged them, no.
But you were present for the collection of those items?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll ask you to cut open People's Exhibit 191.
Case or shown, curious of,
I'm just jumping past when there's
about
nothing
that.
happening.
That bag.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you recognize what's inside of that bag? People's
Yes.
Exhibit 191?
Yes.
Is it in the same or substantially same condition as when you last viewed it on the day it was collected?
It appears to be yes.
Your Honor, at this time we would move to admit People's Exhibit 191.
Mr. Cook,
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit 191 will be admitted.
I'll ask you to do the same with People's Exhibit 192.
With 192?
Yes.
Hey, Susie. Hey, Jennifer. This guy just takes a while to cut open things and
192.
Yeah, I do.
Is it in the same or substantially same condition as when you observed it being collected that day?
happy 23rd to your daughter, Kelly.
I do not recall seeing, it looks like there's writing on the handle. I do not recall seeing that when it was collected.
Aside from the writing being present now, otherwise, is it otherwise appear to be the same
Yes.
object?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for the admissions of people, Exhibit 192.
Mr. Cook,
No objection.
Exhibit 192.
This is being collected that day?
Yes.
And does it appear to be in the same or substantially same condition as when you last saw it?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for the admission of People's Exhibit 193.
They're just going through the actual items.
In addition to a collection of various brushes that you've looked at, do you recognize People's Exhibit 194?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you recognize it?
It's marked as being a empty vinegar bottle that was collected out of the trash can.
Mm.
And when you were present, did you see that particular item while you were present at that residence?
Yes, ma'am.
And would you?
It must be torture for Letecia. Not too soon. Now, please keep in mind, like my lives, are a couple of hours each, but these are, well, they're not 8 hour. They're like about 7 hour. No, about like 6 to 6.5 hours a day without the lunch and the breaks. Okay. So even though it's like, oh, wow, we're a few lives in of mine, this is the fourth witness. You know what I mean? And we jumped the third witness. So she gets moved pretty early on, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. This is the items she had Harley buy. Remember, vinegar was on that list? But I can't imagine how torturous it must be for Letecia to have them laying out the evidence like this and her not to be able to try to even control the narrative, right? With all the stories we hear every time Al presented her with something, the word salad we would get. This must be torture for her.
You also take a moment to cut into People's Exhibit 194.
Oh, we got more cutting.
And again, do you recognize that? What's
Yes,
inside
ma'am.
the bag?
Yeah,
And is it in the same or substantially same condition as when you last viewed it?
it appears to be yes.
Your Honor, this time we would also move for the admission of People's Exhibit 194.
Mr. Cook, Exhibit 194 will be admitted. Go ahead.
Me too, Viking lover.
After collection of these various items that are tedious to open, but what is your role in handling or passing off these particular items to other members of law enforcement?
Typically, the detective that collects it will take it to the evidence facility. Sometimes depending upon if somebody else is going there, they'll hand the package off and that person will take it to the facility and put it in temporary storage. And then later on that day, next day, the detective that collected the items will go down and process the items they collected and put that into the facility.
And at that point, may they be available to other members of law enforcement for testing purposes, et cetera?
Would they be?
Yes.
They could be removed from, they could be signed out from evidence, and there would be a chain of custody that is kept.
As part of this case, you were also present for the collection of other types of evidence, and specifically swabs. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes, ma'am.
And a permission to approach with what has been marked as People's Exhibits 184 and 185.
You may go ahead.
Auntie Logan, I've already forgotten what the story is. I'll need a reminder when we have a break.
Do you guys want me to jump
People's
past the
Exhibits
swab?
184 and 185.
Let me know, because it's just going to be.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How do you recognize People's Exhibit 184?
Open it.
They were buccal swabs that were taken from Mr. Stauch and Miss Stauch.
And just
Or Miss Hyatt, I'm sorry.
specifically 184.
Oh, that one's a pistisha off.
What swabs are those identified as
Jump
belonging
past
to?
it? Okay.
These are from Mr. Stauch.
And
Let's
we
see.
see the, there appears to be some tape on there as well, that those particular envelopes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me jump. Okay.
And are those photographs very an accurate representation of what you saw that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time we would move for the admission of People's Exhibits 195 and
Look at her
196.
laughing.
Thank you.
Mr. Cook,
No objection, Judge.
Exhibit 195 and 196 will be admitted.
And Your Honor, permission to publish.
You may.
Hey, Seek Justice. Hey, Heather.
So behind you, we have People's Exhibit 195. You mentioned a switch. What are we looking at specifically here in People's Exhibit 195?
This is the case the carrying case.
Okay. And in People's Exhibit 196?
And that's the actual switch inside the case.
Nintendo Switch.
And now before you is People's Exhibit 712, I believe.
Yes.
Can you take a moment to familiarize yourself with that and look at it?
She won't for long, Shiny Pop Star.
I do.
How do you recognize it?
It's the description that was typed up for the item that was collected.
And similar to the other items, what was your involvement in the processing of this particular item?
This particular item, I was called by my sergeant to go out and collect. So I went out there.
Let's see.
This channel wide open for everybody. All we ask is that you subscribe to talk. That keeps the bots out of the chat a little bit. And subscribing is free. So if you're willing to support the channel as well as a member, that is awesome. And you have my undying thanks.
All right.
Happy? Not happy about the 7th stretch. I think we're coming back. I think here soon people seem to be getting in position. Well, We don't
Good
have audio.
afternoon.
There we go.
Good afternoon.
We're back.
Where are you currently employed?
The El Paso County Sheriff's Office
And how long have you been with El Paso
Thank
County
you,
Sheriff's
Kezzy.
Office?
That means a
since
lot to me.
2006.
Thank you.
And generally, can you explain for the jury what your role is at the Sheriff's Office?
Currently, I'm a supervisor for the Patrol Division.
And in January of 2020, what was your role then?
I was a patrol deputy.
And as a patrol deputy, can you explain what some of your responsibilities are? What kind of things that you handle on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, responding to calls for service, investigating patrol-related crimes, interdicting criminal activity, traffic enforcement.
Okay. And on January 27th of 2020, were you on duty that day?
Yes.
Thanks, Michelle.
Did you receive a call for service related to this case?
Yes.
Approximately what time did you receive a call for service, or what time that call for service came through?
I responded at 10:09 p.m.
Okay. Can you explain a triage process that may occur for calls of service? How does that work?
Well, calls for service are based on basically a priority status, as if somebody is in danger or something like that. So those calls take higher priority than calls where somebody's not in danger, what we would call a cold call. So runaways are typically given a non-emergent status.
Okay. You mentioned runaways. So what was the specific nature of the call for service that you responded to on January 27th of 2020?
The call I responded to was a runaway juvenile.
Okay. And what location did you respond to for that call?
6627 Mandan Drive.
Okay. And when you arrived at that location, did you respond with any other law enforcement officers?
Yes.
Who did you respond with?
When I got on scene, Deputy Parker and Deputy Donahue were on scene already.
And when you responded to the location, who did you initially make contact with?
Deputy Parker.
Okay. Based on your contact with Deputy Parker, how did you approach the residents? Who did you contact?
I asked Deputy Parker if the residence had been searched to see if the juvenile was hiding, and he indicated it had not.
Okay.
Yes. No.
When you respond and you're on duty, is there any way that you have to document or record your activities?
Yes, I was equipped with a body-worn camera.
Okay. And can you point out for the jury where that body-worn camera is?
Yes, it's mounted right here on my chest.
Can you explain for the jury how that body-worn camera, how it works?
It's activated with a Bluetooth remote system where I press a button and it starts recording. So when I got on scene that day, I started recording pretty much when I got on scene. And then it's deactivated by the same button to turn it off, basically.
Okay. And in terms of audio and visual, what does it record?
It records both audio and visual. However, it's mounted securely on the chest, so it only sees forward. So if my head or something turns, it won't see that. My body actually has to turn for the camera to see something.
Okay. And as it relates to entering the residence, what was your primary responsibility when you arrived on scene?
So I was a secondary responder. So the two primary deputies were conducting an interview on scene. So after I determined that the residence had not been searched for the juvenile, I asked Deputy Parker. After I asked Deputy Parker got consent to search the residence. So I began to search the residence for the juvenile.
Okay. And to be clear, the consent to search the residence was for what in particular?
To find a hiding child.
Okay.
Basically.
Bye, frigates and chickens.
When you arrived at that location that day, was your body-worn camera working?
Prosecution,
Yes, it was.
Roro.
Was operational?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to review that body-worn camera?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to approach with what has been marked as People's Exhibit 210.
You may go ahead.
Do you recognize what I'm handing you, People's Exhibit 210?
Yes, that's a disc with my initials containing my body-worn camera footage.
Okay. And did you not have an opportunity to review the contents of that disc?
I did.
Okay. And is it a fair and accurate depiction of your body-worn camera when you responded on scene that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time would move for the admission of People's Exhibit 210.
Defense.
We got to lean.
Exhibit 210 will be admitted. Go ahead.
I don't think they're going to object to many exhibits.
Your Honor, approach.
Sorry. Oh, yes. Go ahead.
And Your Honor, permission to publish as well?
May.
Titanium. I was under the impression they didn't find it, but I saw the picture. I'm not sure where they got the picture of that. It's my understanding that they never recovered the switch.
But they did. So they're going to go through that footage we watched, guys.
Did they open it? And I mean, they opened evidence. Was that there?
I took the covers that he was laying down like had, and I just like threw it.
Go ahead, Tisha. Listen to your voice. Go ahead, Tisha.
I took the covers that he was laying down like had, and I just like threw it on there because I got my daughter out and the dog's out. She was working, and it was something.
Yeah, everybody knows.
I know, but it was something that we were just like,
Did he take his bike?
no.
Okay, because somebody saw a little kid on a bike. They posted it, but I didn't know if he brought it.
Well, he did, unless he took it sooner and brought it back because Lena ends up getting the bike
Okay.
and rides the bike because hers had broke. When she ran into him, I say ran into him as in not physically, but she somehow got his bike because hers wouldn't work. So he could have at
So
one
they were
point.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
They were supposed to go pick him up for
Right.
dinner. Okay.
Blue,
And he never
black.
called. They thought he was at his
Black.
friend's house. He was like,
Yeah.
you just started sleeping. So
We
they
had
were gonna pick
him
up
on
the road.
one.
And he was never there.
There's
And he never
a
went to his
picture
friend's
someone
house.
said he was on
Okay.
and he was reading the switch.
Do you mind if my partner looks around the house real quick?
Yeah, yeah.
Because kids, they hide. And
Thank you.
They get hide for hours.
Yeah, no, we've already checked.
So we watched this footage.
Is there any
guys,
other kids here?
Yeah, there's kids.
and we can't see it on the screen. So I'm going to just jump past because we watched this. This is when he does the whole walkthrough of the house. And he comes within inches of Gannon's body, unbeknownst to him, in that storage room. And then even gets down on his hands and knees on Gannon's floor, right where the murder had taken place. Okay. So I'm going to just jump forward to his questioning. Let me see.
Initial.
So I just didn't want to step on the box thing to me. But as I was talking to all these people on Facebook, because my husband gave the neighbor permission to post. I'm down here now.
Look at her.
Okay.
Look at her. Go ahead. Look at yourself. You're so passionate.
Yeah,
It was Lee. Hi, Jinx.
Five. Any choice in gathering any vote? It's like bad.
Deputy, in terms of demeanor of the female that we see present in the video, based on the nature of calls for service that you receive, how would you describe that demeanor?
Fairly normal.
Okay. Have you responded on scene to other reports of runaways?
Yes.
How would you describe the demeanor?
Action relevant, Your Honor.
Overruled.
How would you describe the demeanor based on your training and experience in responding to calls for service related to runaways? The comparison of the female's demeanor in this particular video.
I would say similar to other calls that I responded to for runaways.
Okay. In the sense that their demeanors are calm?
Yes, she appeared calm. She was able to answer questions intelligently.
Okay.
Respectfully, sir. Respectfully. I don't know if I would consider that calm. Maybe calm in the sense that, yeah, she's clearly not fucking concerned. But it was peculiar behavior. Come on.
And how did the female present on scene with you identify herself?
I believe she identified herself to Deputy Parker and Deputy Donahue.
Okay. Do you see the female that was present on the video that we just watched? And while you're present searching the house, do you see her today in court?
Yes.
Is she the same female that you see in the video that directed to you throughout the house?
Yes.
A little bit more
Can you
square.
describe her by where she's seated in the courtroom?
She's sitting at the end of the defense table wearing a brown colored shirt.
Your Honor, at this time, may the
She's
record
so
reflect that Deputy
fashioned.
Yinkin has identified the defendant.
The record will so reflect. Go ahead.
In terms of while you were present on scene.
Oh, she doesn't like that, does she?
Did the defendant identify by any other names or any other aliases, things like that?
I don't recall her identifying herself as another name.
While you were present on scene, you described her demeanor as calm. At any point, did that demeanor change?
Not that I observed.
And to be clear, the time that you arrived on scene was what time?
10:09 p.m.
Okay. And as an approximation, how many hours had passed between the call for service as it came in?
I believe the original call for service came in around 7 p.m.
Okay. Now, as we watch your body worn camera, we hear buzzing. What is that buzzing on the video that we're hearing?
So when the camera's activated, it vibrates to let me know that it's on. For two reasons. One, in case there's an accidental activation, I know that it's operating, or two, to just let me know that it's working. So sometimes when you press the button, technology fails. So it's just letting you know that it's operational.
And throughout the body worn camera that we watch, we hear the buzzing. And is that to indicate to you that it is still on, it is still recording?
Yes.
Great. Now, as you went through the residence, did you observe any men that were not law enforcement officers present in the house?
No, just law enforcement.
And as you were searching through the house,
Nope, Lee.
based on the various doors you opened and areas that you looked in, would you have seen a strange man, an unfamiliar man in the house?
I believe so, based on all the areas that I searched.
Okay. And to be clear, based on the call for service that you received, you were looking for a child, is that correct?
Yes, in cases where children are this young and they come in as runaways, sometimes they're hiding in the house because they get in trouble or something like that. So they hide, especially on that night because it was quite cold. So he may not be outside walking around somewhere. He might just be hiding in the house. So that's why we check that stuff.
And when you were present, you were also in the basement area. There appeared to be a storage room, which you paused in.
Yes.
Okay. While we see on the video you looking and pausing in the storage room, did you move any of the boxes?
I believe I moved like a pillow and like a chair and some of that around, but there was a big pile of boxes in the middle and I didn't shuffle through a bunch of those. No.
Okay. And while you were present on scene, did you personally observe any law enforcement officers moving those boxes?
I did not.
Okay.
They are focusing on that line of questioning. Hi, Riley. Because Gannon's body was somewhere buried under those boxes.
You're under permission to approach with what has been marked as People's Exhibit 310 through 315.
May, and if you could find a reasonable breaking point in the next 10 minutes or 5 minutes or so, please. I'm sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. If you take a moment to familiarize yourself with People's Exhibit 310 through 315.
Me too, beach lover.
Do you generally recognize those?
Linda?
Yeah, they appear to be still shots from my body worn camera footage.
And for a particular area of the house?
The storage room.
And are they fair and accurate depiction of your body worn camera?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for the admission of People's Exhibits 310 through 315.
Mr. Cook,
No objection.
exhibits 310 to 315 will be admitted.
No objection.
And Your Honor, permission to publish?
You may.
Deputy, behind you, we have People's Exhibit 310. What are we seeing here in your still shot?
Picture of the storage room, some boxes and containers.
Okay. In People's Exhibit 311, I guess that's a clearer shot of that.
Yes.
Okay. 312.
Farther back.
Okay. And to be clear, the boxes that we were seeing on the right side of the exhibit, did you move those?
I didn't
Yeah,
not
if I
sort
can
through
go.
those, no.
313.
Look at her.
Would this just be to?
Hold on. Let me jump back because look at her whispering and pointing like she's making a fucking point, okay?
I didn't not sort through those, no.
313. Would this just be to the left of People's Exhibit 312? Kind of
Yeah.
facing a different way?
Yes.
People's Exhibit 314. Can you orient us here for People's Exhibit 314?
Yeah, that is the pile of boxes kind of in the center of the room.
Okay. And People's Exhibit 315.
That appears to be a storage container by the door.
Okay. And thank you. Deputy, in terms of while you're searching through the residence, at any point, did the defendant direct you where to search?
No.
Did she?
Oh, what? What? But Letecia, you said you were desperately trying to get their attention to search over there and search under here, right? Right.
Did the defendant direct you where to search?
No.
Did she point out any particular areas that would be of interest to you?
No.
Okay. We see that when you're in the storage area, you
Liar.
paused. You appeared to look in, I don't know if you would describe it as a crawl space or how would you describe it in the storage room?
There's kind of a void under the stairs.
Okay. Did you see anything there?
No.
In terms of while you were present on scene based on your training experience, did the defendant appear to have a pervasive mental disease or defect based on your observations that day?
No.
Okay. And while you searched through various areas of the house, in the top floor and in the basement, at any point, did you see any shell casings?
I did not find any shell casings.
And if you had seen them, would you have identified them and collected them?
I definitely would have identified them, and then we probably would have approached the investigation a little differently.
And throughout your search of the residence on scene, was there any obvious signs of a struggle?
No.
Did you see any blood?
No.
If you had seen blood, would you have taken additional steps?
Yes.
Your Honor, we'll pass the witness.
All right, I think we'll take our break.
I'm going to make this real easy on the
Okay,
deputy. I don't have any questions.
okay. Do any of the jurors?
Oh, oh no, no. First of all, you could have just said, I don't have, then that's the difference between Tellini and Cook, okay? You could have just easily said, I don't have any questions for this witness, Your Honor, right? But no, he had to stand up and say, Your Honor, I'm going to make this real fucking easy. I don't have any questions. Wow.
Your Honor, we'll pass the witness.
All right, I think we'll take our break.
I'm going to make this real easy on the
Okay,
deputy. I don't have any questions.
okay. Do any of the jurors have any questions for Sergeant Youngkin?
Look at
Looks
her.
like we might have one. So, Ms.
We have a juror question, which I really wish they did this in every trial. Okay. I really wish they did. Having the jurors ask the witness questions, I feel like can really make a huge difference. Because if a juror is not understanding something or they need more clarification, to be able to ask for more context, I just think that they should always allow this.
Any questions for Sergeant Youngkin? Looks like we might have one. So, Ms. Gratiano, just pass that forward and put it on the bar in front. And Ms. Gratiano will retrieve it.
Okay, so
Another one coming.
this is technically a bench conference, as the attorneys are up on the bench. So I legally, I'm not allowed to show this. This is my agreement with the court. So we're going to sit right here. We have audio on. We're going to jump back there as soon as it happens. But while we're discussing the question, Allison Barnes says, I'm 9 minutes behind, but seriously, how can anyone sit there and speak to a cop knowing the poor child's body's in her trunk? It's so heart-wrenching. Crazy. And Rihanna Shaw, thank you so much.
His body wasn't in the trunk at that time. Just for anybody who's re-listening to that replay, his body was in the storage room at that time.
Becoming a member. Appreciate all the new members and all the new subscribers. We are 15.
And definitely, again, I'm playing this from Recovery Addict channel, whose link is in the description, and I'll drop the link again. Definitely go check him out and subscribe. He did a very good job at streaming the trial.
Subscribers away from hitting 11,000. That's
nice
crazy.
Setup.
That is absolutely crazy. Okay, let's wait for this bench conference to be over. We're going to take the video back. This is one of the two restrictions the judge has given us, is that I can't air.
That's what it is, Michelle.
The bench conference video or audio.
His family was threatened because of Will Cook's behavior. That's what I was thinking, Harley. I just want to go.
Audio's already turned off from the court, but
most likely the bed, shiny pop star. There was nothing that indicated he was still alive in the.
Wait for the question.
No, poor Linda. I wish it did. I wouldn't even know what buttons to use. I would just press what's pretty.
Okay.
Right, Michelle.
Done. They're still up there at the bench.
I want 2 monitors.
We're 4 away, 4 subscribers away. Okay, they're done. They're walking away now. So there we go.
Sergeant Youngkin, do you know who would have been the first person to describe the missing juvenile as a runaway?
I believe it would have been Letecia Stauch, because she made the initial call to our dispatch center.
When you were searching the home, particularly Gannon's bedroom, did you notice any unusual scents or smells when searching under the beds?
Great question.
I did not. I just looked under there to see if a child was hiding under there, but I did not detect any strange odors.
Did you see any large suitcases?
Yes, based on the body-worn camera footage, it appears that there are some suitcases in those shots.
I think what they were asking for specifically was a large suitcase.
Oh, during my initial response, when I was looking through there, I don't actually recall if I saw a suitcase. Only watching the body-worn camera footage later do I see the suitcase.
Okay. I will allow reasonable follow-up as to those questions only. Ms. Gratiano, do you have any? Mr. Cook?
Cook's whispering in Tellini's ear.
He passed on the witness. I doubt he has anything.
Yeah, he's got something.
He does.
Following up with this unusual smells question that was asked about the Gannon's bedroom, did you notice any like bleach smell, cleaning fluid smell, anything? You know, sometimes you can go into a house and it smells crisp and clean. Any smell like that, or was it just a regular smelling kids?
It smelled fairly normal. I didn't smell the strong odor of any cleaning fluid.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you, Sergeant. You can step down.
I want you guys to notice what he just did. Okay? Smart move. Smart move. He already answered. And the answer was no, there was not any prominent smell. Now, that does not just go in, right? Because we're not talking about decomp yet. So the answer was already questioned. So by Will Cook getting up there and asking, was there any smell of bleach, any cleaning products? He already set it up to know what the answer is. It's going to be no. But just by asking it, it seems like specifically the answer is no to that. You know what I'm saying? And well, if Letecia did all this cleanup, right, and used all these products, wouldn't there be a prominent smell? So he got up there and asked a question that he already knew the answer to, but he wants the jury to walk away with that question in their mind. No, she does not have dentures in. She has veneers that fell out from toilet talks, but you know. But I do find it interesting because I remember when the case was unfolding, I thought there was an officer who said it smelled like cleaning products, but I don't know if maybe that was not accurate or it wasn't this officer, because there was numerous officers. Right, seek justice. I agree. But all right. That's just a good place for me to pause. I think I'm gonna hop off now because I told you guys I was tired, but I will be on tomorrow. I will figure out what the witnesses are ahead of time so we could know which ones will vote and see which ones we want. There are the witnesses that every witness is important, but there are the witnesses where it's not fully necessary to go through all of it. It's protocol, procedural, and redundant. I just want to go through the ones that most of us are like, we want to hear it again, and there's something to take away from it. But thank you all so much for being here tonight. Thank you for being understanding that I'm tired and I don't really have a lot for tonight. But I will be on tomorrow, well rested. We'll be ready to go. We're also doing Gypsy's interrogation this weekend. And so I hope you all have a wonderful night. I am not sure who has a live or what's going on, so I don't know where to send you, but just keep an eye out. And yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. So have a wonderful night.